the King of Life podcast hosted by myself, Soul Touch the Poet, and my brother.
So Lex.
Yo, we talking about is it just weed? The dramatics that have been going on recently and just throughout. So, yes, Sha'Carri Richardson has brought this topic to the forefront recently, but it is a lot bigger than just her. So let's talk about the message that it sends to kids. What is your take on that?
That's where I had the biggest mixed emotions, right? Because again, when you have young individuals looking up to you, you are in a position to set who knows what kind of crazy record that it may even, be centuries from now, for all we know, before someone breaks that record. Again, with you being 21, some may say this is your prime. Others may say different. But again, we're looking at the record itself. We'll never know now what you were capable of doing. We'll never know. So when we see these young kids looking up to you and you saying you consumed this drug knowing that you knew better, I think that's disheartening for them. It's confusing for them. And for some of them who just don't know better, it makes them feel like, well, I can use, illegal substances as well, even though they are legal in some states. So I just think that all around it sends a bad message. And again, not taking a shot at her, but when it comes down to young folks, some of them just are not mentally mature enough to fully realize and understand what is actually taking place right now.
That's pretty much my thoughts on the whole thing. We already have an issue where children are using and abusing illegal substances. They're not mature enough to understand the effects of it. They think it's a joke. They think they're bulletproof. It causes them to sneak around and do it, lie and do all these other things. You have certain situations where older siblings, parents, or other relatives are openly allowing these kids to engage in this stuff, which is, contributing to a minor child abuse, however you want to describe it, in legal aspects. And people just don't care. Right. For the longest time, we've had a higher rate of children using and abusing drugs. And then everybody wants to talk about, this war on drugs and, why is it this and why is it that? And it's like, just like anything else, the same way that you promote sex on TV, and it makes kids curious. Oh, I want to try this. I want to try that. Just like they said a long time ago, the video games are making kids violent, this, that, and the other. So movies are promoting drugs and this, that, and the other. And then you got people using drugs and, in the communities, and kids see this and they say, I wonder what they're doing. It's just the dynamics are so crazy, but specifically when it comes to athletes in general, and, kids look up to athletes like that. They're their role models and stuff.
True.
These kids look at this and they be like, oh, well, my favorite athlete smokes weed, so let me try some weed. My favorite athlete is using steroids. Let me use steroids. Their bodies, their minds are not ready for this stuff.
Nope.
Mentally, physically, and emotionally, they're not ready for this stuff. All of these drugs and stuff like that, they alter a person's mental and emotional ability. So let's say you have a sad child, smokes weed, it has that effect on them. They might do a line of cocaine, it has an effect on them. You know, I don't care if I'm being, dramatic or drastic with it, but we have to look at what it is. Um, I mean, if you look at, the great singers of the 60s and 70s, um, we are very aware of the outcome of a lot of their drug use. And a lot of people who came behind them were influenced by that. And then, so we lost them. And then we lose the ones in our generation. Then we have the ones coming up that are younger than us and doing the same thing. And they're dying from these drugs or not reaching their highest potential because of these drugs. And again, people say it's just weed. It's not just weed to a middle school or elementary school or even a high school who doesn't have the mental capacity to understand the full effect of all of that.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I can tell you how many songs I actually heard about drugs, from Rick James and Mary Jane to Puff the Magic Dragon. And I mean, the list goes on and on. So,
and we didn't even know what Puff the Magic Dragon was about. We just thought about that green damn dragon.
Didn't have the
until we got older, and they was like, "Oh, nah, that's about weed." Like, what the what?
I mean, it just, as kids, you don't even begin to fathom what these damn songs are talking about until you reach adulthood. So with her, again, being on the level that she's on, where naturally the girl is the hottest athlete on the stage right now. Like, hands down, there is no other athlete whose name is on, everybody's lips right now than hers, right?
Yeah.
But when you have so many young folks looking up to you, that's where things get very complicated and they can go left really, really fast. Because I just know that there are countless of female and male, young track and field athletes that were just devastated by this.
Yeah.
Like, you gave them hope, like, I just want to see her break another record or, do something that most people don't even think can be done. Like, we just got to sit back and wait and see. But when you got young people looking up to you, man, you got to take that into account as well. And again, I'm not saying this, to bash her. I'm talking about any athlete who,
in general,
has a promising career and have these young folks looking up to you. That's definitely something you got to keep in mind as well.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, this is bigger than the individual. Your thoughts?
The thing about it is, we know that, the United States is trying to legalize marijuana in damn near every state right now. Everybody see this as the new damn cotton fields, as they say. Everybody won't get paid off of it. So when it comes down to it, it's like, again, these people don't give a damn about people. They give a damn about them dollars. It's all about the greenbacks, for the people who are trying to legalize this thing to a certain extent. It's not about helping people. It's about dollars. So you as an individual know you can't control that, but you definitely don't want to find yourself in the midst of it either, where you can be used in either a negative light or a positive light. I mean, it all comes down to you. And definitely right now, being on that stage, you are being used in a positive light.
Mm-hmm.
For those who want to get to that platform as you, but at the same time, the industry is looking at, well, this is another reason for us to promote it. So you're being used
Right.
as a negative light. You know what I'm saying? Your thoughts?
First thing when I say is when I think of this as being bigger than individual, you got to look at it like this. United States going in the Tokyo Games. Let's look at it from the COVID aspect. Tokyo Games got pushed back because of COVID.
Right.
This was supposed to happen last year, but COVID shut that down. Coming out of that, I will say as a country, the frustration of the games being postponed to the buildup of, all right, it's going down 2021. So you have that buildup. Then you look at all of the athletes who are, keeping their bodies ready. They've gone through COVID. They've gone through so much over the last year and a half, 2 years, or whatever, because of COVID to get to where they are now. So they're looking to the person who's left, right, front, and back of them. They're looking 360 degrees at their prospective teammates because we want to bring this home. We need this. We want this. Then you look at the individual sport. Yes, it's an individual event, but it has a greater impact on everybody who runs that particular event. You running 100. Not only are you representing you, but you're representing everyone who is running, who's ever run that race, and whoever will come behind you and run that race. Then look at, okay, so if you get put out for a banned substance, now someone else has to come up and take your place and try to run in your shoes, literally. And they may not do as well as you might have. So you have to look at that aspect of it. Then again, you talk about the kids, it's bigger than the individual because you have these kids who are looking up to you and you're disappointing them. You're breaking their hearts. So that's when I look at it's bigger than the individual. That's what I look at because, like me and you, we were looking forward to this. Now we're disappointed because it's like, damn, we's about to see some fire on the track and whether it's on the track or gymnastics or whatever the case may be, we're disappointed because we were looking forward to that. Now, there are situations where athlete gets hurt or your favorite athlete doesn't make it. Like I was looking forward to seeing Justin Gatlin running, but he didn't make it. And it's because these young dudes, they was ready. And he's what, 30, he's 39. So it was like, yeah, he put them feet on that track, but those younger jokers was ready. Like just like the 17-year-old kid who's going into the Olympics. Instead of him going to college or whatever, he went pro at 17.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, 17 years old, the youngest American to do this. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, let's just put this in our brains. Let's just say this young man got popped for smoking weed. Do you know how pissed I would be? I'm like, dude, you did all of this 8 to 17 and you get disqualified for smoking weed. I would be livid.
Yeah.
Livid. Because it's bigger than the individual. I hate to say it, I don't care what you're going through. You know what you're going up against.
Yeah.
And as a professional, you should know what resources are available to you. Granted, people out there have hard times, but it's bigger than the individual. And sometimes you have to put your needs or whatever the case may be to the side for the bigger picture. This is how this country and many other countries have come so far from where they were. People have recognized that it was bigger than them.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, when these athletes enter into these, arenas, no matter what sport, but on this particular stage, you are basically carrying the energy, hopefully the positive energy of your whole nation on you.
Yeah.
Because everyone, who's into it want to see you represent, the nation well. They're literally sending you all of their positive energy, all of their positive thoughts, their positive hopes and dreams. So when you, take time and think about that, it's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Although you as the individual, you've been training for this, all of your life, dang near, you see the big picture unfold right in front of your eyes.
Right.
And you really start realizing, all those races in, grade school and then college and then, so on and so forth. That has brought me to this moment in time where all those people that were rooting for me then are still rooting for me now. So
right.
It puts you in damn near an untouchable space because again, you have so much positive energy behind you. And like I said, people just want to see you do well. And when you disappoint them, it takes that positive energy and it damn near resolves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people are like, man, but I believed in this athlete or that person, and I wanted them, to reach their full potential. But because of, making a bad decision, now you just took that and basically crushed people's hopes and dreams. So again, it's just way bigger than you as an individual.
Yeah, definitely. So today's society's inability to cope without legal or illegal substances. So to put that plainly, today's society across the globe has an issue with dealing with hard times without the use of legal and illegal substances irresponsibly. Your thoughts?
For this one, again, I just believe that because everybody's not on that same mental level. We all have our vices, as they say. So when it comes down to people, feeling like they need illegal or legal substances to help them get through whatever it is that they're trying to get through, it's kind of like I can sympathize with it, but at the same time, I can't go along with it. Because again, if it's not helping you to relieve pain, then basically the only thing you're doing is just running away from whatever it is that you feel you are receiving pain from. And again, 9 times out of 10, it's a thought. You are letting a literal thought control the aspects of your body, and you are letting it overrun you to a certain extent. Because once you get hooked on these drugs, especially man-made drugs, man, it's one hell of a monkey on your back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So at that point, it takes a hell of a lot more than just you to get that monkey off of your back.
Yeah. Yeah. With that one, I want to say, at what point did this take such a left turn? And how? Gosh. I know for the better part of our young lives, we've been exposed visually to drug use and abuse and stuff like that. And over the years, yes, we've seen it just increase and increase and increase and affect families and all kind of stuff. But what blows my mind is, first it was a stigma where people did it in the dark. Then it became more prevalent in the light. Now it's so widely used that it's like, yo, what are we going to do? And it's like, as much as you want to blame an individual or try to blame an individual, which sometimes you can, you have to blame the entire system for capitalizing on this and promoting certain things. You got weed that I don't know where the hell the first weed plant was grown or who brought it to America or whatever the case may be. You got hash, you got cocaine and all these other things that come from South America, this, that, and the other. But then you have these Einsteins who are cooking up chemicals, backwoods, Arkansas, wherever the case may be, and putting it out there. And then you have the peer pressure, and then you have those people who say, I need X, Y, and Z in order to sleep, concentrate, think, to make me not depressed, and this, that, and the other. And a tender mind hears that, and they think they're distressed or depressed or anything like that. And they feel like, oh, I can't talk. I can't express my feelings. So, I'm going to go do this to get through. And then it gets to that whole dynamic of lying and hiding. And then next thing you know, they're a junkie. And it's like, oh, where did this come from? So that's another issue that I have with it. And again, with people normalizing drug use, and at the same time, a contradiction trying to battle drug abuse. It's like, I'm not understanding how you're playing this double Dutch game. Because if they used to, I don't know if they still say it, but they used to say marijuana is a gateway drug. If it is, why the fuck are you legalizing it if it's a gateway drug to other things? Help me understand. Somebody, please.
True. I don't know, man. It's just one of those subjects where you see both sides of the coin. For most part, people want to be healed, and marijuana has those properties that can heal people naturally. Again, it's a natural plant. But when you go taking that natural plant and you go adding shit and taking shit away, changing basically the cells of the plant and giving it what you want it to have, then it's not a natural plant anymore. You've altered that plant. So with that being said, at that point, I think that's the thing that screws it all up, for lack of a better term. Like if you want to be natural, be natural. But all that other mess that they're doing with marijuana nowadays, I can't support that, man.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got people putting cocaine in cigarettes, cocaine in weed, putting formaldehyde in weed and doing all this, that, and other. So it's like, stop telling me it's just weed.
Yeah.
Your weed might be just weed, but this person's weed might have who knows what in it. And again, it's bigger than the individual. And you got to think about the message that it's sending to the kids. You have to think about these things.
Yep. So, with that being said, the overall question, should marijuana be legal in sports? And at what level in sports?
I'll put it to you like this, and this is my honest opinion. I don't care either way. And I say that because I'm not a weed person, and it doesn't. I have no dog in that fight. But my position is this: if it's not legal, don't violate. There are ways to make things legal. To answer the question directly, like I said, I don't have a dog in that fight, so I don't care either way.
Right.
But if I was to have a dog in that fight, I would venture to say put it at the legal age of cigarettes and alcohol. So college, well, can't really say that because, people go to college at 18, 19 years old and they play sports or whatever. So I guess keep it out of middle school, elementary school, high school, college on, have at it. I don't really recommend. I'm not pushing for it, but again, I don't have a dog in the fight. But if it's to be, I would say, preferably professional. When a person turns professional, boom. And if there is a medical need for it, I'll just leave it at that.
I'll say I don't agree with it being legal in sports until you're professional. Simply because going up through the ranks, as they say, you want to keep your body as natural as you can. You really want to see what you are capable of without any enhancements whatsoever.
Right.
But once you've gone through those ranks and, achieve whatever success or whatever level of, I guess, whatever level it is you're looking to achieve, once you reach that level of being a paid professional and you are of legal age, at that point, it's on the individual.
Right.
I feel. Again, I would agree with you and say, there has to be some type of limits to it. Meaning,
right.
I still think they should drug test, and that should be one of the things that they have in there. But it has to be the purest form of just weed.
Right.
No enhancing and taking the chemical makeup of it and changing and all the rest of that crap. If that is found in your system, then at that point I think you should be suspended or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, because I can agree with you. Definitely professional, but I really don't have a dog in the fight. So, but yeah, I would agree with you. Professional, legal age. Outside of that, just nah. If your actions negatively affect the team or the organization, don't do it.
True.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Have closing thoughts?
Look, closing thoughts. Honestly, first things first. I hope that Sha'Carri Richardson is able to compete. That would be a great thing. I don't have any negative thoughts to her as an individual.
Right.
I'm just highly disappointed in how things played out. Because of how it has affected and impacted a lot of people. So that's my thing with that. As far as, the war on drugs and stuff like that, we as a people need to really get ourselves together and comprehend what that is, how that is, stop pointing the finger, look within. It's not just weed. It's just not just weed. Yes, it's legal in a lot of states, but it's not authorized everywhere. So just be mindful of that. Take race out of it. It's an individual thing. You know the rules, Don't break the rules. Think about the kids when things like this come up, because our kids are very impressionable and they're not built like we were built. Like, 30 years ago, the things that these kids are depressed about and committing suicide about and getting strung out on drugs about was like a scratch on the finger to us. They're not resilient like we were. They're not built like we were. So they look for any out that they think will satisfy them. It's bigger than the individual, as we discussed. So just think that it's just not you. Collectively, stand together and make the change if that's the change that you want. As a society, we need to definitely find better ways to cope without use and abuse of legal and illegal substances. Yes, most people like to have a drink or smoke or whatever the case may be, but don't use those as things to pull you up out of your ruts or whatever the case may be. That's all I had.
Cool. Well said. I'll just say in closing, with Miss Richardson, I wish her the luck of the world, the best of luck, that is. I just think that this was a bad decision on someone who's young. I believe she would bounce back from this. I believe she will still go on to set, blazing records. If I saw her face to face, I would say, baby girl, keep your head up. Everybody's going to have their own individual struggles and situations that they would go through, in life. And this is just one of those things that's going to build you and shape you into a better person. So, let the naysayers say whatever the hell they want to say, but you keep doing your thing. Keep reaching for the stars, as they say. You just get better in time. That's all. I would say for the young people out there, it's quite obvious how me and Soul Toucher feel about drugs.
Yes.
But when it comes down to, as an individual, if you are of legal age and you medically need marijuana, then by all means do so. But if you don't need it, don't use it. We watched countless of people, over the years destroy their lives behind the use of legal and illegal substances. So you really just gotta start going down the same road, especially in our communities. We gotta stop this shit, man. Put our big boys and big girl pants on and stop falling for the same goddamn piece of cheese, man. That motherfucker been there for eons, it feels like. If you see the trap, why keep going to the trap? It just, logically, it makes no sense, man. So, for all those that keep bringing that shit into, our communities, just because they bring it there, that don't mean we have to participate. We don't. And that's for any community, that just especially for ours. But anyway, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the King and I Life podcast. This is one of those topics that goes very deep, with the both of us, because we've watched it and experienced it as kids growing up. So again, as Nancy Reagan would say, just say no. Just say no, man. It's gonna be all right. I promise you, just say no. But thank you guys for tuning in to the King and I Life podcast. Again, if you guys, have some more topics, you want to come on the show, you can reach us at KINGANDEY369@gmail.com. Again, it's KingandI369@gmail.com. Soul Toucher, it's on you.
Hey, follow us. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, like, subscribe, share. Tune in to us live once a week. Son So Lex is going to embark on some educational endeavors, so we're going to move our lives to like Thursday night as he advances his marketability in this world. So shout out to him on that.
Appreciate it.
But
salute.
Other than that, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for encouraging us. All of that. We definitely appreciate y'all hanging in with us. Definitely thank y'all for spending the time that you spend with us, especially on our lives. Y'all can be anywhere in the world, but y'all took a few minutes of y'all time, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 seconds, or sometimes the whole 2.5, 3 hours of our live podcast. So thank you very much for that.
Yes, sir.
As Son Solek said, this topic is very, I'll just say personal, because we've seen a lot. So everybody keep your head up. Much love. We out of here.
For sure.